I'll kick down your return. Happy Friday, everybody. No better way to preview a 3-day weekend than fieldside at the Beaver Dam Baseball Diamond before the Golden Beavers take on the Panthers of Oregon with still a chance, still a route to claim the Badger Large Conference title. Bit of an abbreviated show today. We'll be going from 4 to 4:30 with the Dam Sports Show streaming live to you from the Baseball Diamond on Daily Dodge TV, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, and the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Then around 4:35, 4:40-ish, we'll switch over to the official pregame show for Beaver Dam Baseball against Oregon as these two teams play Game 14 of 14 in conference. We start today off with Friday Picks, which feels like the most consequential Friday Picks segment yet because Wally and I are in a deadlock at 19 and 17 apiece. Still kind of scheming up what that punishment's going to look like. Right now we've settled on stadium steps until we reach the height of Mount Everest, and it doesn't seem like we're going to budge anytime. Well, Wally, you ran up the stadium steps yesterday, and I think that 5-minute experience, that little sample size, did more negotiating than I ever could.
I think that was the best thing that's ever happened in your world. Is that you and I.
Is that you actually had to try the thing you wanted to sign us up for.
Well, so we go over last night.
Weird concept.
We go over at about, 5:30, 6 o'clock. We have kind of an outing for the station. It was the couple of the boys going over. We wanted to get a little workout in, so we're doing some laps. We're doing all that. And I'm like, you know what, Corey? I'm going to walk up and down the steps. Walk, mind you, for 5 minutes because I want to just get a gauge on how I feel. And I'm like, 5 minutes is kind of a good test period to get it going. I went up 12 times in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
A healthy walk, nothing crazy. Oh, my gosh. Did you ever luck out that I did that because you just drilled it? That did more negotiating for me than I think you ever could have. I'll be honest now. I am scared. I'm shaking in my boots because that was a lot harder than I ever expected as we have paper flying all over in front of us here.
The live read's just fluttering all over. It was just about to mention, I feel like out of the 4 or 5 times we've done an outdoor show, this is the best it's been wind-wise, which naturally means now that I put that out into the universe, this is going to be a colossal failure. But I'm glad that you learned that 5 minutes. See, and you tried to do the thing where you gingerly walked up there like, this might be how I'm feeling in hour 5, hour 7, hour 11. Every step is going to hurt you. Like, at that point, when we hit hour 11, or me,
I think, minute
it's going to be a lot worse than what you tried to do.
Minute 20. I was 12 in. For, context sake, that is, what is 12 out of it? 1,900. I mean, you're talking about.
Not 1%.
Like 0.5%.
Yeah.
I did 0.5%. And I was sitting there like, oh, buddy, do I need a break? So I'm going to have to think long and hard. I think this means that Wally has to be hitting the gym a little bit. We are on the diet right now, Corey Sparks. I did very poorly after the fasting frenzy that was the, Lenten season. I think I gained most of the weight back because I have just been loving life. It's been on top of the world.
Yeah, why not?
So this week we've been back. I'm on the Corey Sparks, let's take care of ourselves train, and we're setting a when bit down
I haven't
again.
been on that train much longer than you have been. So.
Well, I tell you, this next 2 months is big. It's critical time. Wally's going to be looking like a GQ model when we get to July when this is over, if there's any shot in the world that I finish this.
There you go. I have an idea, and I think Jason Wilde, when he comes on in the second half of today's show, around 4:15 today, he might be able to push you one way or another on how we can toy with this idea, because I do think there's something there. I think there's a spectacle in, associating a certain challenge with the tallest mountain in America, right? Is it, or no, in the world?
In the world. You said Mount Everest is in America?
No. I was going to say in the world, but didn't
Okay.
something else pass it up? Or is it still Mount Everest?
What do you mean did something pass it up? Do you think mountains are just like consistently
Tectonic
climbing?
plates move.
How much do you think they move?
Enough?
That is oh my gosh, this is the only downfall of us being out at the beautiful BD baseball diamond is that I didn't get that on camera of you saying that.
No, yeah, that's just a random voice you edited in.
Yeah, you're going to be like, this is AI now. I
You
can't
said it.
believe
I
that
could
you just
gaslight
hit
people
us
into
with
thinking
that.
you said it.
Unbelievable. Is it still? As if they're
America
growing.
was a Freudian slip, but I was curious if there was something else that. No, like mountains rise a couple feet
They
a year.
do. You get the subvection, I think is the word.
Sure.
Convection, where it's like one plate goes on the other, pushes it up.
One day, it might be far after we're gone, a mountain's going to pass up Mount Everest, and I'm going to be there laughing.
Yeah, you will. You know what? You and I are going to be in the ground in about 65 million years when like Mount insert here is like 1 foot taller than Mount Everest.
Isn't that when the sun? When is the sun supposed to wipe us out?
Oh, isn't that supposed to be like 6 billion years?
Okay, so we got a little time.
The sun's got a lot of life in it. It's got a lot of juice. That's one of those science things I've never wrapped my head around.
This took a dark turn, by
It
the way.
did, but like it's not going to affect any of us. I mean, the sun. First of all, if the sun decided to burn out, we wouldn't even know it. It'd be so cold we wouldn't even have a second to process it. So I'm not worried about it. I'm looking at that big ball of fire in the sky, fired up that we got another day of it here on this beautiful green earth of ours.
Isn't it like an 8-minute delay too? Whatever happens to the sun, you notice it 8 minutes later because that's how far out we are from the projection.
Yeah, which is
Crazy.
another thing. Science is weird when you think about it.
Very
like,
odd.
Light years. Like every help me out here. So, like a light year, to put in perspective how big the universe and galaxies are, it takes a true year for light to get you.
And light's fast.
And light is it's literally the speed of light. And the speed of light is 8 minutes away. That's how far away. My brain is not like smart enough. Thank God we're covering all these wonderful kids that are actually in classes that are already passed me by in intellect.
And we can go ask mechanical engineer, soon-to-be Major Jeffrey Freund, how this stuff works.
Yeah, I'd be scared though, because he'd be like actually breaking it down too much.
He would like blow our minds.
Yeah, I don't need that. He's gonna startle me too much.
If you are looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, head on over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun. How many light years is Waupun away? Is it like 5 light seconds maybe?
I mean, it can't be. I mean, I don't even think it's that far. You think that
3
here to
light
Waupun
seconds?
is 5 seconds versus 8 minutes? No way. That would be like, I don't even know, like
half a second.
3/100,000ths of a
Yeah,
second.
that's a good point. If it's 8 minutes to the sun, Waupun's probably like half a second.
I don't think it's even half a second. I think that
Tenth
you
of
are.
a second.
I think that it's like one of those criminal where you're like 5 or 6 like zeros down in the decimal points before you even get close.
Maybe. Anyway, Real Sports Cards is in Waupun. They also have the Real Sports Cards app. If you're into sports cards or Pokemon cards or anything in between, Real Sports Cards has you covered with live breaks streaming right on the app. You can grab individual cards on the go. Be a part of a group and watch for your favorite players and teams as the packs get opened in real time. Go to the Apple or Google Play Store today. Look for that orange logo with the 3 cards in the middle and take your collection to the next level. With Real Sports Cards in Waupun and the Real Sports Cards app, that's your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more. And speaking of sports, we need to switch over to Friday Picks because I feel like the more and more I talk about science and astrology, I am exposing how dumb I am in certain assets of life.
Well, plus
So-
I'm getting a Sunday scaries from it, so I don't need that right now.
Okay, so we'll switch over to Friday Picks. You and I are both at 19 and 17 apiece. The loser by MLB All-Star Weekend has to do insert challenge here. I think you're much more open to workshopping this thing after yesterday's experience.
Dare I say I agree, sadly?
So the 3 games we are choosing from today. 1 is today. 2 are today. 3 are today. All 3 are today.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
did that on purpose because we got a jam-packed schedule tonight around the sports world.
That's a good point. So Brewers at Pirates. Freddie Peralta, Freddie fastball against Paul Skeens, who you pointed out to me yesterday has a losing record despite the fact his ERA is nearing 2 flat. Who do you have in that one? This is an interesting spot. You have to separate heart from maybe you don't have to. You're a pretty pessimistic fan.
I am a very pessimistic
I was going to say
fan.
heart from brain, heart from head, but
The problem is that you guys know I'm from home. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm a Yinzer at heart. And Paul Skeens is on the mound. I don't care if they're 3-7 this year when he's on the bump. I gotta go with my Buccos. They're raising a Jolly Roger tonight. It might be the only time all year they do it against your Brewers out there.
Did you switch this?
No, I'm right. I'm sitting here right now. Give me my Buccos.
I was
better or
looking at our
worse.
picks early because, like, we have an outline, right? We got to have a a rough idea of how the show is going to go before we go on the air. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen. Probably not great things. But
most of the time.
I looked at the outline, and I must have just speed read through what you said. I think I saw 3-7 when he starts.
Yep.
And went, he's taking the Brewers.
And that
so
was
you
what
and I,
the
this is going to be the
smart person would
game.
do.
This is going to be the game that determines it right here.
Well, you say that now. The Pirates, I'm not scared. Paul Skeens is on the bump. They exploded last night. Milwaukee, shame on you. I'm looking at you,
for 5
Wisconsin.
runs.
5 runs might as well be 35 right now for the Pirates. The fact that they gave that up right now, look out, Brewers. This is bad news for your fans. We're going to go out there tonight, another offensive explosion.
Put up a 4 spot.
I was just going to say, give me a 4-1 win.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Crew. Freddie Peralta's been remarkable, and I'm going to use your own stat against you. The Pirates did just snap it, but there was a streak there where for 26 consecutive games, tied for the longest stretch in history, the Pirates did not score 4 runs. It was 3-2-1, or they got shut out. I agree, it's going to be a low-scoring game. Whatever the line is on ESPN bet, 6.5, 7.5 runs, probably might even be 5.5 to be honest. Because the Brewers have struggled to score at will at times too. I'm going to say it's like 3-1, 3-2, but I think the Brewers show up here and climb up another game and get a little farther away from, credit to Jesse Nelson, Coach Murphy being fired.
Well, you know what? When they lose 3 out of 4 to the Buccos here, then maybe we're back on. Maybe we get Jesse back on the show, figure out if he still has a job in a week.
Wave the flag.
Maybe wave that flag. We got to raise the Jolly Roger. It's only happened 17 times this year.
There's a lose-lose scenario depending on how we spin this for Jesse. Either the Brewers end up being really good this year and they shake out of this funk, they get healthy, they're fine. Maybe they even make a move at the deadline. Won't get too gutsy by saying something like that. Or they truly do continue to regress. Pat Murphy does go in the near future, and then you can claim that it was all bad voodoo.
It's lose-lose. It's lose-lose. There's nothing around it. Spin it as a win-win, where at least he has a, hey, I'm happy, or
I have the crystal ball.
I was right.
Yeah.
So I guess you can take it
You guys
either way.
called me a fool. Okay, so you have Pirates. I have Brewers tonight, Peralta and Skeens. Onto the court, Pacers at Knicks. I don't know how we could get a more entertaining game than we had a couple of days ago, but Tyrese seems to have a knack for these late-game dramatics. And recently, putting an homage up for Reggie Miller. That was pretty cool. 138-135 win in overtime. This is game 2 at the Garden again. Mr. Lukashinsky, do they repeat, or does New York get a little revenge tonight?
You know, I guess it was yesterday, I told you guys at home, I truly believe the Pacers won the series in game 1. I think that was going to be a huge hurdle to overcome mentally. But I think that the Knicks are going to even the series tonight. I think that they're going to win actually in a blowout fashion before the Pacers win game 3 and 4 back in the great state of Indiana, and it's going to be 3-1. So give me the Knicks tonight, the Knickerbockers.
You and I are in lockstep here. I think the Knicks are going to be pissing hot vinegar. It's not
Pissing
good,
hot vinegar.
right? Or what is it?
No, it's like when you're upset, it's like, hey, you're full of piss and vinegar today.
Piss and vinegar.
And you just decided, hey, we're going to just make this a new expression.
Yeah, I can make that make sense. But no, I think the Knicks win by 20+. I think they're ticked off. And they're not going to go down lightly. I think it'll be a 6 or 7 game series. They're going to win this one at home.
I think you're right. 6 or 7 sounds right, but give me the Pacers.
Edmonton at Dallas. The Stars. Big puck guy. Thanks for throwing that one in here. Game 2. I do know Dallas is up 1-0 and they're at home tonight. Who do you have?
I tell you what, I think the Stars are going to do it again. I think they're going to win
Oh,
this
you
game
copied
4-3.
me.
Is that how it happened?
Oh.
They not only are going to win, this is going to be one of those games that you're going to see all of a sudden Edmonton start doing that panic move where now you're going to have Skinner possibly getting a quick leash, maybe yank him. Again, you have a banged-up goaltending room right now. Maybe you get a switch when you go back to the Providence of Alberta here. I believe that'd be Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, great point on Skinner. I was going to say that before you did. I'm going to go Dallas as well. The Stars have been dominant wire to wire. They're up 1-0. They're at home. Sorry, but so it's really going to come down to that Brewers-Pirates game tonight, huh?
Well, we're finally going to have
Sorry, I was going to keep talking hockey, but we have a show clock to
No, I know. That's where the difficult part is for you.
Yeah.
But this is going to be a big Pirates-Brewers game we're going to have to keep an eye on tonight. One of us is going to have a lead. We're only, 5-6 weeks away now.
Yeah.
Scary.
But I think you and I are both kind of doing that thing where it's like we'd both be taking a huge risk if we picked something that we I don't know. Maybe we just organically agree on a lot of things, but if you and I pick differently on 2 games, things can get real ugly real quick.
I'm not worried about you. I got to run the ball. I got to trust the offense. I've got to pick what I think.
You're coming off a couple turnovers here. You were up 3 weeks ago.
You're right. And what happens when you turn the ball over? You get back to running the football. And I got back to running the football
Peanut
here.
Tillman, punch it out again. Let's go up 1.
I'm not worried about you punch it out. I got 2 hands on the football.
So you have the Pirates at home against the Brewers, evening the 4 games set out at 1 apiece halfway through it. We're both going Knicks over Pacers in Game 2. That would even the Eastern Conference Finals out at 1 apiece. Dallas over Edmonton, of course. I mean, that one was a layup in Game 2 to go up 2-0 in that series. Perfect. Jason Wilde joins us next here on the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. I'm going to be feeling like DJ Khaled tomorrow morning. 3 for 3 on our picks. Oh, it's going to be so awesome.
That was
Pirates and Brewers is what it's going to come down to for us, and then we have 5 more weeks.
No, and then you know what? That's fine. I'm still on the Mount Everest train. I still believe that's going to happen. I'm going to will that to happen. I don't care what it takes now. You're doing this yourself with that comment.
This is the Damn Sports Show streaming live on Daily Dodge TV, 1413. Yeah, don't try and dial to that. You're not going to get anything. 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. That is the brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening experience. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip. The ESPN Wisconsin app is available in Apple and Android app stores right now. The 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year in Jason Wilde joins us now. You can hear him live on Wilde and Tausch weekdays from 9 a.m. until noon across ESPN Wisconsin and that brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Jason, we are reporting to you live from the Beaver Dam Baseball Diamond outdoors. Where are you at currently? Very nice. No, those are 2 other people.
Yeah, that was actually a father and son duo out there. That had nothing to do with us.
You thought that sounded like us?
Interesting. Well, Jesse hit me on Wednesday with that ad, actually himself, telling me that I didn't sound like a very good father. So I'm just a little rattled by it right now, Jason. I don't know any way around it. That's true.
It's teaching me about life.
Well, Jason, Corey just said it there. We're sitting atop the bleachers overlooking the beautiful Beaver Dam Baseball Diamond. And we've had such a blast covering this team all spring. Great kids, good people throughout the staff. And they have a chance to possibly win a conference tournament this weekend. And it had me thinking, you've covered a lot of Packers teams that have won division titles over the years. Is there any of them, regardless if they went on to win a Super Bowl, that have separated themselves where you just had a true joy covering that team throughout the year?
Jason, you just mentioned Rodgers. I just read a CBS Sports article that quoted Matt LaFleur saying he fully expects Aaron Rodgers to be a Steeler. From your perspective, I know we brought up the Vikings before as well. Not a whole lot of other teams between the Vikings and the Steelers, but is it between the Steelers and retirement at this point, or are there still other teams possibly in the sweepstakes? Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't agree more with you on that, Jason. You'd be absolutely staggered, though, at the delusion that is in Pittsburgh around Mason Rudolph. There's still, like, a belief that, like, hey, he's not that bad. He could be a serviceable guy. There's a big difference between Mason Rudolph and Aaron Rodgers. I don't care what anybody in Pittsburgh has to say about that. But, Jason, I do have a question about something I heard you on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy earlier today, and Gabe brought up something that staggered me, and it seemed like he got you by surprise, too. But PFF's top 25 under 25 list, the Packers did not have a single player, and that's their identity, is about being young and constantly shifting their roster to stay young. Even if you make a case that Tucker Kraft or Edgerrin Cooper could be part of that list, do you think Packer fans should be worried about the lack of top-end talent that are playing on the rookie deals right now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Crazy low.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Jason, I hate to cut it short. We kind of have a hard out with the Beaver Dam baseball game just about to get started in about the next 30 minutes. We got to kick it to pregame coverage. But thank you so much for joining us. We've got a very interesting question that's maybe you heard it already. Have you heard anything about our Mount Everest debacle that we're going to try and do? Or no, that was from Jesse's conversation. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll tease the Mount Everest thing for next Wednesday. But Jason, we appreciate you. Hopefully, you have a good long weekend.
Amen.
Thank you very much. That is the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year in Jason Wilde. He is our Packers guy. We'll talk more about the wide receiving core with him next week. I wanted to squeak something in about Dontavian Wicks, but we are kind of up against the clock here. When we return, switch over if you're on Daily Dodge TV. We'll be entering the Oregon versus Beaver Dam High School baseball live stream. If you're on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, just stay there. We'll just be switching to the pregame coverage for Beaver Dam and Oregon. This concludes the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.